got my co-host Tate Mathews with me as always. Sideline reporter Jacqueline Wallace is in the house tonight. First game, Friday Night Lights. There's nothing like it here in the WCS Sports Conference, Tate.
That's right. It's the first week of 2016, the football season of 2016. Battle of 840. This is the site of the very first WCS game day that we ever had. We come back to Fairview. It's two teams that are county rivals, interstate rivals, and two teams that they love to compete against each other once they get together. I'm very excited. This is one of my favorite games of the year.
Well, Tate, we got to talk about last year for just a second. Most successful season in history of WCS. 7 of 8 teams qualified for the playoffs. 3 teams make it to the semifinals. 2 state champions, and 1 team, Independence High School, finishes the year ranked number 1 in the country.
Yeah, 15-0 Independence, and many people forget Ravenwood was the state champion at 14-1 in 6A. Their only loss came to Centennial. 2 losses by Centennial, both of them came to Independence. Very, very tough district last year.
Well, let's start right here, the Battle of 840, Fairview versus Page. Man, this is going to be for the trophy. Each home team of the last 2 years has won this competition. Bragging rights on the line, not really necessary playoff implications at all. Page playing in the 4A section, Fairview playing in the 3A section. What are we in store for?
Well, and you mentioned they play 3A here at Fairview, they play 4A at Page, and they are both replacing some big-time players. Both of them breaking in new quarterbacks this year. You've got Page going with Jacob Van Landingham, taking over for one of our favorites, Michael Magochi. Obviously, Hunter Zimmerman here, one of the best quarterbacks they've ever had at Fairview this year. Cam Luss will be taking his place there. So, brand new quarterbacks, but both of them are returning most of their offensive line. Both of them are returning a lot of their defense. So experienced team, but they're inexperienced in some very important positions.
Don't forget about the X Factor, Samaglia right there. He could flip the field position on you any night. University of Tennessee commit. He's got a powerful leg. Do you think that will come into play tonight?
I think it does. Return game is a big thing with Fairview. That's a big part of their game. That's one of their weapons. They look to flip momentum with the return game. Obviously with Samaglia, if he can kick it into the end zone every time, then they don't have the chance to have that return. Then also on the punt, if he can get good hang time, get down and cover, that takes away one of the weapons. As we know, Coach Hughes, he's a little bit of a riverboat gambler. He likes to take chances, and the kicking game is one of those places. So Samaglia is huge tonight.
Let's go across the WCS Sports Conference tonight, Tate. Let's start with a huge game tonight. Just like tonight, the Battle of Franklin. Franklin High School versus Centennial. Centennial won this game last year 20-0. As we all know, they went to the semifinals last year. Franklin got beat by Wilson Central in the 3rd round. What do you think?
Well, I think it's a big game, and there's a lot of storylines. Obviously, when you're talking Franklin Centennial, Donnie Webb, Dr. Defense, the head coach, his wife. Dr. Webb is the principal of Centennial, and first-year head coach Matt Kreisky, a former player in high school for Donnie Webb. So it's a big game. I think that when you're looking at Franklin, they are much more experienced than Centennial, and Centennial has to find a way on the offensive side. What they're going to have to do, they're breaking in a new quarterback as well. They've got 2 big-time receivers on the outside, Centurion DeRoe and Devious Chrisman. Got to find a way to maybe get a big play or 2 out of them. On the Franklin side, Mitch Rossi, watch him. Great running back, great linebacker. He really can be their bell cow. You know, they've got the biggest offensive line in the state, maybe the entire Southeast. If they can run the ball behind them and maybe pop a big play action pass to Alex Gacka, recipe success for Franklin.
Well, I know that the doctor of defense likes to go 4 yards a cloud of dust. He's got the perfect offensive line to run behind. They are the largest team in the WCS Sports Conference behind Max Ray, 4-star prep commit to Georgia. That line is huge, Tate.
It's huge, and they like to play option football, which makes you be disciplined anyways. That's what Centennial's got to do. They've got to get in there, they got to play assignment football, and they got to get some 3 and outs. They can't let that big offensive line wear on them for 4 quarters, or they're going to be in trouble because they're just too big. They're going to wear you down.
All right, next game of the night, Old Sparty Battle of the Hill, Battle of Spring Hill. That's a big game. That's a big, huge game for Summit. They need to start the year off 1-0. Spring Hill won this matchup last year, 27-15, but this is a brand new Sparty. Brian Coleman in the wing tee offense, Ty Carter, look out.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. They got 21 of 22 starters back, 12 seniors. Remember, That means these guys have been playing since sophomores, playing since juniors, taking their lumps. I think this is the year that the Spartans start the season off 1-0. That's one step going to the playoffs. And like you said, Ty Carter, they're the wing T offense. They want to make you be disciplined. They want to get increments of 3, 4, 5-yard gains. They catch you slipping, sleeping. Ty Carter can take it to the house. He did it this year. He's a year older. He's faster. He's stronger. I think he has a big, big year. Michael Zakreski, the field general at quarterback, he's a senior. He's a year stronger. I think this offense is going to score a lot of points this year.
Well, I agree with you, and I think that Summit definitely, we've talked about this all the way, Summit gets into the playoffs this year, but tonight's game sets the tone for the whole year, and you know how important that is, Tate.
Oh, the Battle of the Hill. And now look, they're going to be well coached. Jay Emmons, former Centennial assistant, he's the first-year head coach at Spring Hill, and they've got a nice running back. So Spring Hill has to come up and come out ready to play on defense, or they're a team that can take a long one on them. So you're right. This would be a great way to start the season off. If they're going to make the playoffs, this would be a really, really huge step towards doing it.
Big game tonight. Arguably the biggest game in the conference tonight. Independence, the reigning 5A state champions, host Brentwood. Ron Crawford's got his Bruins looking to make some noise. They're poised. They've been working hard in the off season. He's got some huge numbers up there, 100+ kids. Brentwood Bruins look to make some noise. What do you think about that game tonight?
Well, if you talk to opposing coaches, Ron Crawford's one of the most respected coaches in the state when it comes to game planning and have his teams well prepared. That will be the same. That'll be the same story tonight. The thing about Independence, you look at all the firepower that they replaced from last year. Andrew Bunch, Nate Johnson. Every single skill player that started last year is gone. But, man, they've already reloaded. Brandon Hines will take the reins as the quarterback, and if the preseason is any indication, they've already got that thing firing on all cylinders. Troy Henderson, transfer at tailback. He gives them a different dimension. He's a guy, if you give him a seam, he's going to end up in the end zone before any of your guys do. And then, as we mentioned, Landon Guidry. He's got a chance to be the most exciting guy in the mid-state. So, what did Brentwood need to do? Can't go in big plays.
I love it when you have people like Landon Guidry. They don't give you a position. They call you athlete. Yeah. Mississippi State signee. He's going to be powerful. He's going to be quick. He looks great. He's been working hard in the offseason. I look forward to seeing what he's doing. However, do not sleep on that Independence defense. Hunter Dupree, David Dimke, those guys. Montre Steele. They're going to be tough on the defensive side of the ball, too.
Yes, and I think they were a little bit underrated last year because of how good their offense was. But this is the year where I think they get a little bit more publicity, notoriety. But on the Brentwood side, Carson Shacklett getting his first start at quarterback. He's a very athletic young man, tall kid who can run, got a strong arm. Brentwood cannot turn the ball over, but they do have to find a way to get a big player too. I think they take some shots with Carson Shacklett. If he can connect on them, Brentwood's got a chance.
Ravenwood played the opening game of the season last night on Thursday night against Siegel. They go to Rutherford County and get the big come-behind win. Kind of looked a little shaky up there. They had a little bit of jitters, if you will. New head coach Richie Westman. They have a great second half. Hold Siegel to 8 total yards in the second half. What a big night on the offensive side of the ball for Ravenwood.
Yeah, I think he's got to be excited about this for a lot of things. One, it's his first win as the head coach. They're coming off the state championship year. And the most important thing or impressive thing that I think about it was they were down at halftime. They had given up 200 yards in the first half. They came in, obviously made some adjustments. They shut that down, came back and won the game against a very quality Murfreesboro, Rutherford County opponent. And Siegel, stat of the night, maybe going to end up being the stat of the whole weekend. But Kane Morrow, in his very first start as quarterback, 422 passing yards.
And I saw every one of them. He never took a snap under center. If you like the West Coast offense, you like to see a lot of passing, Ravenwood is a team to watch. They came from behind, like we said, 23-19 to get the big win. And let's not forget about our new school, the Nolensville Knights. We have Mr. Nolensville in the house tonight himself. John Street of Street Tuxedo, one of our all-time favorite game day sponsors. Nolensville at Forest, JV game. Nolensville's got some weapons. Don't sleep on that 9th and 10th grade team.
Yeah, and if you talk to Coach Hester, you think that maybe since they're playing a JV schedule that the comparative juices aren't flowing. They went down and played against Forest JV, varsity in the Jamboree last week. They got pushed around a little bit. Coach Hester didn't like that at all. He's looking to have a little bit different outcome against the JV. And they're an athletic team. We talked about it. They've got 2 quarterbacks that can play for a lot of people. It's not going to take long before they get rolling. They're exciting to watch.
Well, Chapel Hill, as you know, is the home of the largest tractor pull, and they're fixing to get pulled by the Knights all over the field. Best of luck to those guys. Tate, when we come back to WCS Game Day, we're going to be visited by some special guests. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Am I bright enough to shine in your spaces between the noise you hear?
Game Day here live. We now have a special guest with us, head coach of the Fairview Yellow Jackets, Coach Chris Hughes. Coach Hughes, let's talk about one thing. This was the inaugural Game Day, baby. Hey, let's think about that now. In Fairview, 2 years ago, we had never done Game Day. This is the second time ever. What do you think Game Day brings down here to the Battle of 840?
Brings some excitement. Listen to this crowd back here. The Fairview fans right here.
Well, we know that this game doesn't mean anything as far as playoffs are concerned. How important is the Battle of 840 in the all-season? It is week 1. You're coming in here trying to get things ready. Do your guys get pumped up for this game? Is this a game you circle on the calendar?
We've been circling this since last year when we lost 38-7. We've told them every day, telling my kids now, and I just talked to Coach Radbone. He said he played the subs the whole second half, and they still scored 2 touchdowns. So I guess those will be the starters now. So I figure they're favored by 30. We'll see what happens.
Well, I don't know what Vegas' line is on it right now, but I think it's a pick 'em. It's a coin toss tonight. You're coming in 49th in the state. Page is coming in 50th. It can't get any better than that.
That's close. That's close. I hope the game's the same way.
You're doing something that you haven't had to do in, 3-4 years. You're breaking in the new quarterback, but he's an athletic young man. I know you're excited about that. It's got to make you feel comfortable. You got 3 running backs behind him, and Hunter Caldwell, Jake Bethard, and Josh Ortiz, Derek, all playmakers. Let's talk a little bit about that first game and how many without Hunter Zimmerman. A little bit, I guess it's kind of got to be a little bit of a sad thing for you, but it's an exciting thing too.
You know, Hunter Z's over there right now.
I love it.
Still over there, and
I wonder if he's got his cargo shorts to carry this trophy.
hey, I'll have y'all know he's broadcasting our game. It'll be on WCS
Oh, okay.
TV.
Well, we'll give a shout.
He's doing some journalism.
I love it.
And, see how he does. But Cam's going to give us the regular, having those backs. If we can move the ball on the ground, taking pressure off, he can make some plays through there. He's going to be special. First night, you know there's going to be some jitters playing Page here. All this excitement. I just hope we can come out of it, get better, get some experience, and stay healthy.
Yeah, and he is. You mentioned he's a kid. He can obviously throw the ball, but he can beat you with his legs too. If you can soften him up a little bit with those 3 running backs, he's a kid. If he can get a seam, he gives you a little bit different dimension, doesn't he? He can run.
He's very elusive. Not super fast, but he's hard to tackle. Got good moves, that basketball player in him. You know, Page will have to worry about him a little bit, but they won't know that until we get into it. So I hope that everybody tackles Jake. He can take it around the edge one time or twice. But I think Page feels pretty good about it. So, you know, we're playing that revenge factor, 38-7. I told there's one thing you never forget, and that's a good butt whipping. Every time I got one, I remembered it, and our guys are remembering this.
Well, we're here with Coach Chris Hughes, Walker Chevrolet Coach's Corner. Let's talk about the preseason real quick. You played some pretty good competition to get yourself ready. Marshall County, one of those teams, tough, skilled team. But let's talk about the teams in the region. Who are some of those teams outside? I know that some publications have you picked to win the region. Who are some of those teams you got to look for? I know Camden's one of those teams every year.
Camden's a thorn in our side. Sycamore, you know, Harpeth. Some of these teams that got new coaches, you don't know what you're getting into. I think after tonight we'll have a better idea when we look at everybody. and see those scores as they pop up. But right now, we're just focused on this game, beating Page, and we'll take care of the region when it comes.
We were talking about it's not a region game, and it doesn't count in the standings, but it does count to you for what you were talking about. You don't come out of very many games where you feel like you got out physical and you got out hit. You were really upset about that last year, but this does start you off 1-0, and you want that momentum going into that district schedule.
Tate, if you don't see some snot knockers tonight, we didn't do a good job, because all we preach is put them on their back. I know they're going to play physical. We're going to bring a tough, mental style that we haven't done before and try to impose our will. Now, whether we can do it or not remains to be seen, but you're exactly right. And this game does matter, because the momentum of either one of us being 1-0 or 0-1, it's a psychological advantage for the team that takes the win.
Coach Hughes, thank you so much for joining us here in the Walker Chevrolet Coach's Corner. We wish you the best of luck. We're going to see if that Battle of 840 trophy comes back home to you tonight.
And regardless, Fairview still got the best fans. These guys are awesome.
When we come back, Jacqueline Wallace, our sideline reporter, will meet with Coach Charles Raft on the page. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, I'm Jacqueline Wallace, and I am joined by Coach of the Page Patriots, Coach Rathbone. Now, Coach, you are entering tonight's game as the defending champions of the Battle of 840. What have you guys done to prepare to hold on to this title?
Well, the good thing about a game like this, you don't have to worry about motivation. So we just kind of worked on us, worked on executing and trying to get the proper players in the proper positions. And I think if we could do that and execute, we'll be okay.
Mm-hmm. Now, what about Jacob Van Landingham stood out to you the most and gave you confidence about naming him the starting quarterback coming into this game?
Well, we got three guys that could throw pretty well, Kondo and Jacob. And Jacob, you know, he could run the ball quite well. You know, he'd probably be our starting tailback if he wasn't our quarterback. So that kind of separated him.
Now, any secret weapons on the defensive side of the ball going into this game that can help stop the run game of the Yellow Jackets?
Well, we just got to play hard and get 11 Patriots to the ball every down, and we'll be okay.
Thanks, Coach, for your time. Appreciate it. And your son, Jacob.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Hello and welcome back to WCS Game Day here, powered by Walker Chevrolet. Let's give a quick shout out real quick. Shout out to Mathews Team Sports, Team Adidas, but Walker Chevrolet, Street Tuxedo in the house. Thank you so much for happening. Hey, I want to give a shout out to the Jacket Nation back here. They're up here with us. Give a shout out to the Page High Crew. Man, what a great atmosphere this is tonight. We are joined by Dr. Julia Oyer, Shane Pantall, principals of Fairview High School and Page. All right, guys, you know how this works. We're going to go down the WCS Sports Conference and pick the games, pick the winners. But before we get there, Dr. Pantall, what does the Battle of 840 do for the Rutterville Rowdies? That's tough to say.
The Battle of 840 gets us started down the road where we want to go. And we want that trophy sitting back on Arno Road.
Okay, all right. Dr. Oyer, same question to you. What does it do to Fairview? I've been in your building all day.
Yes.
I've seen what it does to your culture.
Yes, it fires us up. There's no rivalry like this. It brings the heat, it gets us excited, and like Shane said, we know where this leads. We know where that trophy ends up. We feel good about it.
So is it going down Arno Road tonight or Highway 100? I'm just kidding. Don't answer that yet. We'll get to that point in just a minute. So we got to get both your teams tonight. This is a lofty goal. Go for the teams this year. Let's get those teams in the playoffs, number one. I think it's an expectation that you both want to see. What about that first round? We want to get past that first round this year. Dr. Pantal, to you.
We're going to get there. It's just one of those things where we got, to be honest with you, the kids worked about as hard as you could work all summer, and they're here to show what they put in all that time in the spring, weight room, and everything else. And if you look at our fans tonight, that's why they came out. Sorry, Dr. Warrior.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to blow my whistle and throw my flag, but the reality is it's true for every football team, right? We've done the same thing. We'll let the scoreboard speak, and we'll see what happens on the field. We've got a great group of young men on the field tonight and a great group of kids in the stands. We're doing great stuff.
One thing we do not lack up here tonight is confidence, and I love every bit of it.
That's right.
All right, let's get this thing started. Jacqueline Wallace down here with us. Jacqueline, you got a very special guest down here with us. If you don't know who Vincent High is, Vincent Victories is with us tonight.
Hey guys, I'm here with Vincent Hall. Like he said, he is the student section leader for the Page Patriots. So Vincent, what exactly are your game day duties as the section leader?
My game day goals are to orchestrate a really hype section and to go lead all the chants and to just be really hype.
And I can't help without asking, what exactly is, like, what's the story behind this huge head of yours?
I just started putting pictures of my face around the school, and then it just blew up, and I decided to blow it up on a huge poster board, and ever since then, Mr. Qualls loved it.
It's awesome. So who are we picking to win tonight's game?
Patriot Country!
Back to you at the desk.
All right, let's get this party started right here. Pick'ems, here we go. You know the rules. You know how we're going to do. We're going to start with a big one. Battle of Franklin at Centennial for the helmet tonight. Who do you have, Dr. Pantal?
Franklin High.
I'm sorry?
Franklin's going
He's
to win
got the
that.
Franklin Rebels. He's got a little bit of biased interest in that game. Who do you have, Dr. Oyer?
I've got bias too. I'm a Franklin mom. We know the Rebels are going to bring it. We love Lee Webb over at Centennial, but we know what's happening tonight. Franklin through and through.
Tate, who do you have?
Well, I'm torn because I like both of them very, very much, but I think you got to lean towards Dr. Defense, Donnie Webb. They're more experienced and they're a little bit bigger, but it's like a mentor of yours. Hall of Fame coach Richard Lee once said, once you start counting your chickens before they hatch, you can get in trouble. So I think Franklin is the heavy favorite, but they better not come in overconfident. They're going to be in trouble. What do you think?
That's right.
Jacqueline, who do you have tonight in the Battle of Franklin at Centennial?
It's Matt Kreisky, the props tonight. I'm going with Centennial.
Oh, he's picking the underdog. Coach Kreisky going out for his first win at Franklin. That place, that environment tonight. I hate it. I love Matt Kreisky, but there is no way Centennial walks in there tonight and gets a win. The Dr. Defense behind that largest offensive line, not only in WCS Sports Conference, I dare say, in the state, 4 yards in a cloud of dust all night behind Franklin. Franklin Rebels roll tonight. Battle of the Hill. This is a big one. Battle of Spring Hill, Old Sparty, Summit, Spring Hill. Spring Hill did win this game last year, but this is a new era for Summit. Who do you have?
I have Summit. I think Summit's coming in with a new confidence, a new level of excitement, and they want this game differently than they did last year because of it. I'm picking Summit.
Who do you have?
Going with Summit tonight. They're going to turn it around this year.
Summit, I think they win handily, double digits. Ty Carter over 150 yards. Summit starts off 1-0.
Jacqueline, who do you have tonight in the Battle of the Hill?
Guys, I have to go with Summit also. They're going to take the win for this one.
No questions asked. Are you kidding me? Old Sparty rolls tonight. It's going to be like 300 out there. They're rolling out there with their gear. These guys, I'm telling you, look out down the road. It's not going to be 7 of 8, Tate. It's going to be 8 of 8 WCS Sports Conference teams in the playoffs this year. Summit wins tonight. Big game right here. This is a tough one. Independence versus Brentwood at Indy. Who do you have?
You know, I got a lot of love in my heart for Independence High School, and I really feel like they are going to come out on top, and they're going to come out on top big. You know, defending state champions and all, they've got a lot on the plate.
Dr. Pantal.
I think it's the Eagles. They're going to roll big tonight. They're too good. They're way too good. It's going to be big.
I agree with these two. I think people think Independence has a lot of holes to fill, and they do, but they've already filled them. I think they're already firing on all cylinders. I hate to say it because, you know, I'm a huge Ron Crawford fan, but I think Independence wins. I think they win big, and I think it gets bad early.
Jacqueline, who do you have?
I'm also going with the Independence Eagles. They're more experienced going into this game, and I'm going with Coach Blade.
All right, look, let's just be honest. I've spent time with Coach Crawford at practice. I love Coach Crawford as much as anybody. Great guy. He's done a great job. I really think that Brentwood's going to make some noise in the playoffs. But you've got the defending 5A state champions coming in, the reigning #1 team in the country on my TV 30 tonight. Are you kidding me? Independence Eagles tonight. I think it is a competitive game for the first 10 minutes. As in the words of Will Hester, you got to survive the first 5. After that, it's over. I really think Independence is going to be the team to beat in 5A all year long. Independence wins this game. All right. That brings us to the Battle of 840 tonight. All right. All right. Let's see how we're going to do this. Let's start with the visiting principal. Dr. Pantal, is there any doubt in your mind who wins this game?
The only way we'll lose this game, the only way, is if Dr. Oyer is officiating the game tonight. So I will tell you, I'm going with the old Spirit Can.
Uh-oh.
And I think it's going to be a close game. Both teams have worked hard. You can't ask for a better environment than tonight, but I say it goes down to fourth quarter. We kick about a 50-yard field goal and win.
All right, Dr. Oyer, you know coming in this, all right, it's never been this close coming in. We thought last year was going to be close. Listen, the rankings all the publications have Fairview at number 49, Page at 50. Can it get any closer?
Oh,
Look,
I know.
Vegas wouldn't even put a line on this game.
That's right.
So,
I asked.
who do you have, Dr. Oyer, tonight's
There's
game?
no question. And I want to say what Dr. Pantal said. I love this environment. It's so great. These guys are calling the spread. I love it. I think we're coming out on top. We've been waiting. It's been quiet. Our guys have a quiet calm around it. It feels like it's going to be a heck of a game, but we're coming out on top.
She picks Fairview, of course. Jacqueline, who do you have?
I think that Page Patriots are going to defend their title tonight.
Jacqueline. Woo! She's a fan favorite.
Firing bullet.
She's a fan favorite. Tate Mathews, who do you have?
Like we said, if you look at my overall record, picking and pick'ems on game day is pretty impressive, especially when we're talking about that game. So I've been thinking about this all day. Page last year, I got that one right, but I did not know what to do. Dr. Oyer has, without a doubt, the most school spirit of any principal that I think we've ever had up here. There's been a little bit of, I'm not quite sure this crowd gets a little bit intimidating, and I like what Fairview does, the way they like to gamble. But when I started looking at it, I just think Page has way too much firepower. I'm going with the Page Patriots.
Who picks the Page Patriots? All right. I've taken a lot of heat this week. Twitter's blowing up. Okay, I get it. Hey, I love all 9 of our teams. I do. This is part of the deal. Look, I went in the first of the week thinking Fairview is going to blow this game out. Okay? But as the week has progressed, I've gone back, I've looked at Huddle, I've watched Page, I've watched the maturation process. They have the X Factor, Brent Samaglia out there, the UT commit. He could flip a field on you any time. However, I have not been wrong in the Battle of 840, and I'm not going to be wrong tonight because Fairview wins this game tonight. Fairview rolls. Thank you for joining us for WCS Game Day. We'll see you next time.